All right, that's a very good question. What is influence? Influence is, it's especially in the leadership positioning, it's a very tricky part. Let's first understand influence. We'll also talk about persuasion. We'll also talk about manipulation and the difference between, because these are the three words or phrases that will often get misunderstood very easily. People can misunderstand influence and try to be persuading, and while they have to be persuading, they may try to go a little bit farther, and that may come across as manipulation. So influence, people always say that you cannot change anybody, like you can only influence change, right? So influence, that is how far influence can get you. You can influence change, you can make people take or get their attention and take notice of what you're trying to say, and that may lead to a change. If it is a positive change, probably it's good influence. And we all have good and bad influencers throughout the history, and especially leaders, they have to learn this little they have to know in they as they know the back of their hand, they should know what exactly is influence, what is persuasion, and what is manipulation. So persuasion is, especially in sales situations, we see more of persuasion going on, and the salesperson who is trying to sell something in a sales situation, the person who is trying to sell is trying to persuade the person who is buying into making the decision, and they may use a few strategies in persuading the person to make the decision right there. Maybe that includes probably handling objections is a form of persuasion, and figuring out reciprocity, or trying to get the person to make the decision immediately, because bringing in scarcity or urgency into play. See, these are the different ways where a persuasion situation can happen. This is a step more than influence, I would say, because influence will get the person to pay the attention that you want, and persuasion is the strategy that will get them to make the decision. And now manipulation, when the it's a, I would say, persuasion on steroids could be manipulation. So when someone is manipulating you, or you are trying to manipulate someone, when the results are only in the favor of the person who is manipulating. Like, for example, someone is trying to persuade someone else to buy something, and the result of that buying decision is only good for the person who is selling, or person who is trying to make the change, and not good for the person who is making the decision, then it's called as manipulation. The problem with manipulation is most people don't even understand they are being manipulated, and even people who are trying to make that persuasion, maybe they are under pressure, maybe they are under quota, maybe they are trying to fill in something, they are in hurry, they are in urgency, they are not built that influence properly. They try to go a little bit far, and even they don't understand sometimes they are trying to manipulate, but only they will understand a little bit later when the results go bad, and that's when people find that they are not being persuaded, but they are being manipulated. Anyway, how to be more influential, that is the question here, and especially in a leadership position. So if you want to be having more influence, or if you want to be an influencer, if you want your team, your people, your market, your readers, your audience, if you want to influence them, if you want them to give you that attention, you need to influence them. So how do you influence? Now let me excuse me, let me ask you, who had that terrific amount of influence on you personally? Just think about this person, one person who had a very big influence on you. This person could be living or dead, or someone from history, whoever that is. Just bring that person to your mind, and I can tell you this person has done one of these three things that I'm going to tell you to become more influential, to have that influence on you. Number one, this person taught you how to think. They teach, they coach, they mentored you, they got that concept or that lesson into you, and they taught you how to think through certain things. That's why they have an influence on you. Or they challenge you in some ways. In my own situation, I had the opportunity or the blessings of getting coached by so many people, and so many people have got tremendous amount of influence on me when I was growing up, and even today as well. And how do I know that someone has got an influence on me? I know because someone told me, like when people tell me, when my mentors tell me, look, Ram, you gone up this level, but you know there is another level for you. You know that there is a higher level of efficiency or productivity, or or success, or whatever it is. If you know there is a higher level up here, then this one seems very mediocre for you, and that's when I feel that I'm challenged. So that is the reason why the person who challenges me has got an influence on me. So the person is making me a better person. That is the reason why they have influence on me. And the third reason why people have influence is their role model. Maybe the person in your mind was a role model for you. You are trying to grow into this person. That's why they have got a tremendous amount of influence. Celebrities, for example, movie actors and writers, they have got a terrific amount of influence on their audience, because their audience or the followers are trying to become like them. That is the reason why they have that influence. So if you want to have more influence with your team, with your people, with your in your company, along with your audience, or the people, if you want to have more influence, or if you want to become more influential, here are the three things that you need to do. Number one, start teaching people how to think. And number two, challenge them in good ways. Challenge them to go to the next level. And number three, you role model for them. When you say something, when you bring your vision, your mission to practice, you lead by example. That's how you become more influential. So three things: teach people how to think, challenge them in some ways, and role model for them, and you will have a terrific amount of influence with your audience.